Manna and water in the desert. After crossing the Red Sea, the Israelites followed Moses into the wilderness. For 3 days, they found no water. The sun burned hot, and their mouths were dry. Finally, they came to a place called Meribah. The water was bitter and undrinkable. The people began to grumble against Moses. Moses cried out to the Lord, and God showed him a piece of wood. Moses threw it into the water, and it became sweet. The people drank and were refreshed. Then they traveled to Elim, where there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees. After leaving Elim, the Israelites entered the wilderness of Sin, but soon their food ran out. They grumbled again. "Why did you bring us here to die? In Egypt we had meat and bread." God heard their cries. He promised to rain down bread from heaven. The next morning, when the dew lifted, thin flakes like frost covered the ground. The people said, "What is it?" In Hebrew, manna. Moses said, "This is the bread the Lord has given you." And that evening, God sent quail to cover the camp. The people gathered them and had meat to eat. God was showing them He would always provide. Moses told them, "Gather only what you need each day. Don't keep it overnight." Some disobeyed, and the manna spoiled with maggots. But on the 6th day, God gave them double, so they could rest on the 7th, the Sabbath. Later, the people camped at Rephidim, but again, there was no water. They quarreled with Moses. "Give us water to drink." Moses cried to the Lord. God said, "Strike the rock at Horeb." Moses obeyed, and water gushed out for everyone to drink. Again, at Kadesh, there was no water. God told Moses, "Speak to the rock, and water will flow." But Moses was angry. He struck the rock twice with his staff, and water came out. But because he didn't trust God fully, Moses was told he wouldn't enter the promised land. For 40 years, God fed his people with manna. Their clothes never wore out. He taught them to trust him daily. Even in the wilderness, God was faithful. The story of manna and water in the desert reminds us God provides. Even in dry places, He cares for His people. When we trust Him, we'll never walk alone.